Hey, what is up, YouTube? This is Floyd with Floyd's Tech Reviews, and man, today, you see it. You see what time it is? Yeah! I get to build my first PC. Now, those of you who know, this PC I bought somebody custom, well, it was custom made. Not custom made, but you know, it was made by somebody else. And and I picked out the specs. But this time, I'm gonna be hands-on with this thing. Well, the first thing, I got the Corsair 4000D airflow for the case. Then I have white fans to go in the front. I have a iCUE H100i for the CPU cooler. I went with the ASUS Tough Gaming X570 Pro for the motherboard. A Ryzen 5 5600X for CPU. I got the Corsair Vengeance LPX DDR4 2.8 16 gigabyte overall, 3600 megahertz. I got my M.2 by SanDisk. And for my power supply, I'm running Thermaltake Smart 700 watt. And you're probably wondering, Floyd, what are you running for your GPU? Well, unfortunately, you know, we're in a GPU shortage, so right now I have to use my old GPU, but I will be upgrading it once these prices start going down. For the meantime, I think for what I'm going for, I want to play 1080 with decent frames for right now. My overall goal is to be at 1440p and to be running like around 140, 160 frames per second. Because those of you who know, I did a review on this Omen 27i and it supports 1440 at 165. So as of right now, I'm not taking full advantage of that monitor. And I'm gonna need to upgrade my graphics card to be able to take advantage of that. But as of right now, I have a Radeon RX 480, 4 gigabyte version. If I had an 8 gigabyte version, I'd be good. But the version I have now is just a 4 gigabyte, and it's currently in my system. I will be showing that to you in a little bit. But right now, I have to download Windows on a USB stick for my next build. And man, I'm excited. So right now we're just gonna I'm gonna set my camera up and I'm gonna be unboxing stuff and I'm gonna bring you along the journey. So I'm not gonna be one last thing. I'm out of breath because I just got home and I'm excited. But I'm probably not gonna be doing too much talking for this build because this, like I said, this is my first build and I'm gonna be following along with somebody else on YouTube, Joey Dale something. But shout out to that guy. A lot of this build, a lot of these parts came from his video, and I'm just following after his steps. So I just want to bring you guys along with me. And then afterwards, I'm just going to show you the after results. So appreciate everybody who clicked on the video. Appreciate everybody who's been rocking with me this far. If you're new, like the video, subscribe, and let's get to it. man, see, look, this is what happened. So halfway through the build, I realized that the power supply wasn't modular. So basically, modular power supply is when all of the ports and stuff aren't plugged in. You can plug them in, like whatever cords or cables that you need. You can connect them to the computer first and then plug them into the power supply, and all the other ones, you know, you don't have to plug them in because it's modular, whatever. So a friend of mine, we went to the store, went to Best Buy that day that I was going to be building the PC, and I was like, well, I have the power supply I got isn't modular. He was like, oh man, get a modular, it's gonna make your life so much easier. And I was like, okay, cool. So we go inside of Best Buy, and we see this other power supply, which is the one that I bought, the Thermaltake. I never heard of the company, but he said it was pretty good. So I did that and got all the parts. I still had to work for the rest of the day, so I went to Best Buy on my lunch break, worked until about 5 or so, and then came. I had to go to Office Max because I didn't have a thumb drive or a flash drive. So got that and came straight here, got everything out the trunk, super excited, getting ready to build. And while I was recording myself, I was starting to get frustrated because some of the bolts, some of the screws, they weren't going in straight. It felt like they were being like going in diagonal. The motherboard didn't match up like square with the case. So I'm like, why isn't the screws going in? So I was already getting kind of heated about that. And then I opened the power supply. It's not even modular. And at this time, Best Buy was maybe 30 minutes from closing, and I lived 20 some minutes away from Best Buy. I was like, so I'd already returned the power supply that I had bought. I didn't get the refund back yet. Bought this one, still waiting on the money or whatever. I didn't want to have to buy another power supply and then return this one, and I'll be $200 deep into just power supplies and still waiting on refunds. I'd have got it back, but I didn't have all the money for the right modular supply. So I was like, well, there's a lot of movement to be doing, last minute. So I was like, wait, I'm just gonna use this power supply and stick it out and try to figure everything out. So that's what I did. But by that point, I was just like, you know what, I'm done. I don't really feel like recording no more. And at this point, I'm just trying to get it done and figure it out. So I got everything together, but on the other hand, I wasn't able to record everything or record my full experience because it wasn't so joyful through the rest of it. So I saved you guys that headache. But as you can see, I got my system running now. So I'm just gonna be walking around and showing you the cool colors. Right now, I just got white fins in the front. I didn't have the budget to do full RGB. I don't think I would have went with different colors besides white. They have set colors, like they have set red. I'm not really into red. They have set blue, which I really like blue. My setup is kind of like a blue theme, but it's not always blue. As you know, my whole desk is full RGB, so I can change it. But I felt like white was the more neutral color, and it goes best with everything. So yeah, I'm just gonna show you everything. All right, so this is it, pretty much finished. This is my old graphics card from my old system, so I will be updating this whenever graphics cards go back to normal price. But you guys saw me install the SSD. The only parts that you didn't see is I installed this cooler, and when I put the power supply in with all the different cords and stuff like this. You see with the power supply that I have, it's just a 6-pin. It comes with an 8-pin, 2 more connectors here. And also, I guess for the newer GPUs, it has another 8-pin connected to the power supply. Well, the power supply that I got, and the reason why I stopped recording, it's supposed to be a modular, but I purchased the wrong one. And that's basically, I'm gonna post a picture here of what the power supply is that I got. And so it made my job a little bit harder, but it wasn't too bad. So this right here is the CPU power cord, and you have to be sure to install the power cable to your CPU first is all the way up here, especially if you're doing the top mount radiator, because this is the type of thing that you will run into. So if you did it already and you're trying to go back, the beauty of this, you just take this little dust filter off, and you got these 8 little screws up here. You just gotta undo that. That'll lower the radiator, so you just gotta hold it out, and then you're able to plug in the CPU power cable on the top left. And for the fans on the Corsair 4000D, you can see these little cutouts right here, and you can run the cables through there. And when you're installing the fans, this little cap right here is to come off. You pull up on this, and that comes out like that. So for the bottom fan, when you're wiring that one, it just goes under. The middle fan, make sure all your wires are, facing this way. They go through this little cutout, and once you're done, you put the cover back on. And for the installing of the front fans, all you gotta do, take this little design piece off. Put this over here for a second. And this little filter, and that gives you access to the screw holes for the fans. I went with white, but you can put RGB if you got the budget for it. And yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. Before I put this back together, I know some of y'all into this stuff, so I'm gonna do this for you. There you go, for all you weird folks out there. All right, so this is the setup. I got the radiator top mounted. This is my old GPU. Let me take the side panel off, actually.